Saint Teresa of Portugal, AD 1176-1250. Finish this sentence. God is. Do you ever wonder, what is God really like? We spend a lot of time talking about God in church, religion, and spirituality. But sometimes all this talk can get in the way of us really thinking about God. Have you ever wondered what God is really like? One word I would use is generous. In everything we attribute to God, I see immense acts of generosity. Creation is generous. Free will is generous. Life is generous. Love is generous. The generosity of God is awesome. God wants us to be generous too. Do you strive to be generous like God? Saint Teresa of Portugal lived a life of staggering generosity that brought the love of God to life for others in very real and tangible ways. Teresa was born into royalty in 1178 as a daughter of King Sancho I of Portugal. Despite the luxury and privilege her birth afforded her, Teresa's heart was with the less fortunate from a young age. After a short stint as Queen of Portugal, she devoted herself to service. Teresa used her wealth to feed the hungry, clothe the poor, care for the sick, and create educational programs for the disadvantaged. She was also a patron of the arts, using her resources to foster a culture of learning and spiritual growth within her community. In 1206, Teresa founded the monastery of Lorvau, created not only to be a center for religious devotion, but also a place where the poor and needy could find support. She herself entered the monastery as a nun, wearing only humble religious garb. Her humility was itself generous, and inspired countless future religious women to pursue this beautiful way of life. Saint Teresa of Portugal, like so many other great saints, amazed the world with her generosity. Generosity is at the heart of the Christian life, just as it is at the heart of the gospel, for it is often through our generosity that we are able to bring the love of God to life for others in very real and tangible ways. God is by his very nature generous. God wants to convince us of his generosity, and in turn wants us to live generous lives. How can you amaze someone with your generosity today? How has your life been impacted by someone else's generosity? How can you pass that generosity on to someone else today? I will live a life of staggering generosity. Feast Day, June 17th. Feast day shared by Saints Blaise and Diogen. Canonized, May 20th, 1705. Canonized by Pope Clement VIII. Thank you for viewing this video. Please like, subscribe, and share with others. Rick Herring.